Several new developments in South suburban Dalton today. First, the state comptroller has suspended some payments to the village because it has failed to follow the law by providing financial reports.
You could feel the anger tonight at a Board of Trustees meeting in Thornton Township. The board and citizens looking for accountability to their finances while they
get ready for a story that will make you question everything. Tiffany Henyard, the mayor of Dalton, Illinois, is once again making headlines. But this time, it's not for her public service. Despite earning a six-figure salary, reportedly around $300,000 a year, Henyard is now facing eviction for failing to pay her rent. She's months behind on payments. How is this possible for someone in her position? With a salary like hers, paying rent should never be an issue. But as the story unfolds, it becomes clear there's much more to the situation than meets the eye. And it's quickly spiraling into an even bigger mess.
Unfortunately, we knew it was going to be a little messy, but it's just something we felt important that had to be done, that should be done. So, but like I said, just some.
Her authority. She's painted herself as a victim in this ongoing saga, rallying her supporters to claim that the legal and financial troubles are nothing more than an attempt to remove her from power. However, with the mounting evidence, her claims of a smear campaign are beginning to ring hollow for many. As if things weren't already complicated enough, the legal and financial investigations into Henyard's tenure have only deepened. Local authorities, including the trustees of Dalton, have begun to take serious steps toward holding her accountable, seeking legal counsel on how best to move forward with the situation. This is no longer just about missed rent payments or questionable spending. This is a full-blown investigation into whether Henyard's mismanagement of public funds is a systemic issue that has been going on for years. Among the most concerning revelations are reports about how Henyard and her associate Kamal Woods have allegedly mishandled taxpayer-funded grants. One notable example includes the mismanagement of a youth program grant, which had been funneled into questionable payments to people like Anthony Butler. Butler allegedly received more than $66,000 for services that are now under intense scrutiny, as there's no clear record of what the money was used for. These discrepancies, coupled with the lavish trips and parties funded by taxpayer money, have created a storm of controversy. The public's patience is wearing thin as more details emerge. Critics claim that Henyard has failed in her duty as a leader, and her alleged misuse of public funds is a symptom of deeper issues. As the situation grows more dire, Henyard's political career now hangs in the balance. With legal battles looming, a growing number of investigations into her actions, and residents growing frustrated with her leadership, the question on everyone's mind is whether Henyard can recover from this scandal, or if it will mark the end of her political career. Her recent eviction case has only added fuel to the fire, highlighting her inability to manage even basic financial responsibilities despite her considerable salary. If Henyard can't even manage her own rent, how can she be trusted to manage a village's finances? This, coupled with her increasingly erratic behavior and defiance of legal orders, has made it clear that her leadership is under siege. Despite all of this, Henyard continues to insist she's being targeted by political opponents and media, framing herself as a martyr. But as more information comes to light, the pressure is mounting. The longer she denies the mounting evidence and fails to make meaningful changes, the harder it will be for her to keep her grip on power. This latest scandal is far from over, and the public is watching closely to see what happens next. Will Henyard manage to clear her name and restore her credibility, or will the weight of these financial misdeeds be too much to overcome? One thing's for sure, the drama surrounding Tiffany Henyard is only just beginning, and it promises to keep Dalton in the spotlight for some time to come. Tiffany Henyard's attempts to position herself as the victim of a larger conspiracy are beginning to lose traction as the evidence against her continues to mount. What initially seemed like a political battle has morphed into a full-scale crisis, with Henyard's personal and professional actions at the center of an ever-growing storm of controversy. Her claims of being unfairly targeted by political opponents and media outlets are starting to feel more like a deflection from the very real issues that have plagued her tenure. Local officials, including the Board of Trustees, are increasingly frustrated with her leadership. The ongoing investigations into her financial dealings, along with reports of lavish personal expenditures funded by taxpayer money, have painted a picture of a leader who may have lost sight of her responsibilities. It's not just the alleged misuse of public funds, but also her apparent disregard for basic financial obligations, like paying rent, that is raising serious questions about her fitness to lead. As public dissatisfaction continues to grow, Henyard's position is becoming more precarious. Her approval ratings have taken a hit, and her ability to rally support is being severely tested. The more her actions are scrutinized, the harder it becomes for her to maintain the narrative of being a victim. The people of Dalton, who once trusted her to govern on their behalf, are now watching as her credibility erodes with every new revelation. The question on everyone's mind is whether Henyard can turn things around, or if the controversy surrounding her will be the catalyst for her political downfall. The ongoing legal battles and financial investigations continue to unfold, and the stakes for Henyard have never been higher. Her leadership in Dalton is at risk, and the future of her political career is uncertain. The public and local officials alike are grappling with the fallout from Henyard's increasingly questionable actions. While some continue to stand by her, the tide is clearly turning against her. As the situation intensifies, Henyard's next moves will be crucial. Will she be able to regain control of the narrative? Or will this be the moment that defines the end of her political career? The drama surrounding Tiffany Henyard is far from over, and Dalton is bracing for whatever comes.
Not handle anything as relates to with credit cards. As you heard me speak today in my board meeting about, I do not handle that.
Some of those charges are for you, though.
No.
Tiffany Henyard's scandalous downfall is rapidly evolving into a story of financial mismanagement, legal woes, and mounting public distrust. As more information emerges, it's clear that her political career is on the edge of a precipice, and the public's patience with her is wearing thin. The alleged misuse of taxpayer funds for personal expenses, questionable handling of public grants, and the ongoing federal investigation are just the tip of the iceberg. The situation has escalated far beyond her unpaid rent and lavish personal spending. The FBI's involvement raises serious concerns about her financial conduct, particularly regarding the allocation of security costs, which some believe may have been used for personal purposes. Adding insult to injury, it appears these security costs were accrued while Henyard was out of town, including on personal trips, which further fuels accusations of misuse of public resources. What started as a critique of Henyard's lavish lifestyle, such as her extravagant Las Vegas trips and questionable purchases, has now morphed into a full-blown federal investigation. Allegations of corruption are surfacing, with reports of misallocated funds for youth projects and bizarre payments to individuals with unclear ties to Henyard. These reports are causing many to question the integrity of her financial management and her ability to properly oversee public resources. In addition to her professional troubles, Henyard is also embroiled in a personal financial crisis. The pending eviction due to unpaid rent on a modest $100 a month property has become a symbol of her broader financial mismanagement. Even though she is reportedly earning a six-figure salary of $300,000 per year, she has failed to maintain basic financial obligations. The involvement of Kamal Woods, an associate, only complicates matters, adding fuel to the fire of speculation about what is truly happening behind the scenes. What's even more troubling are rumors that Henyard may not even reside at the property. she is being evicted from, with some insiders suggesting that it could be tied to illegal activity. This is exacerbated by reports of her refusal to allow property inspections, further adding to the suspicion that there is more to this story than meets the eye. The public's reaction has been unforgiving. Social media users are quick to criticize Henyard, calling her out for misusing taxpayer money and questioning her leadership abilities. With each new report, her credibility erodes, and the perception that she is either incompetent or corrupt is gaining traction. The public no longer seems willing to give her the benefit of the doubt, and calls for her resignation are intensifying. Despite the growing chorus of discontent, Henyard has remained defiant. She has suggested that she is the victim of a smear campaign orchestrated by her political enemies, claiming that they are targeting her because she is a woman in power. However, the public sentiment has shifted significantly, and her attempt to frame the situation as a battle against gender-based discrimination is not resonating with many. The stakes are high for Henyard, with her eviction court date set for October 22nd and federal investigations underway. The outcome of these legal challenges could determine whether she has any chance of rebuilding her political career, but her reputation may already be beyond repair. Public trust, once a cornerstone of her leadership, has evaporated, and many are left wondering if this is the end of the road for her political ambitions. As the investigation into her financial dealings continues, the residents of Dalton are demanding answers. The growing calls for accountability, transparency, and a thorough investigation into her actions are unlikely to subside anytime soon. Whether Henyard can weather the storm or whether this is the beginning of the end of her career remains to be seen, but one thing is certain: the public is watching closely, and the pressure on her leadership is immense.